Terry, I was sitting on the couch last night and it's just kind of flipping through the channels. And I landed on one of those things, where they have like an old time, like music star, rock and roll star, and they're kind of going through the old music, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they were going through like REO Speedwagon and Def Leppard and Foreigner. And then they start playing like different songs. And like, this is the greatest collection of 80s ballads that you've ever got, right? and one came on and it made me think of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was Foreigner. You're familiar with Foreigner, right?
I am, yes.
And it went, you're as cold as ice.
Yeah, we have been. We've been cold as ice. But a lot of times that's the prerequisite to really being hot.
I don't know. Yesterday, woof. Whose idea was Fort Erie to begin with? Get that guy off the show.
I know.
Yeah. What was that all about? I don't ever want to go back to Fort Erie again. Those Canadians. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, I personally don't usually play that track, but because either that track is hard to handicap or nothing but favorites with. One or the other.
Well, I wish it was nothing but favorites yesterday.
Yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah, it would have been nice.
All horse players go cold slumps. You got to keep swinging. That's for sure. Well, the thing is, as horse racing goes, the thing, you can handicap a race right. I talk about with this Sean in our sports thing. A great friend of mine, was a great friend of mine. I haven't heard from him in years, so you can't be that great of a friend, right? But he was a fantastic friend, great basketball player, and we used to play summer league basketball together. And he was really good. I mean, just phenomenal, unbelievable basketball player. But in any case, I would make a shot sometimes. He'd be really mad at me. He'd be like, Rich, that was a terrible shot. It's not going to go in. I'm like, but Paul, it went in. And he would just freak out at me for taking bad shots. Now, sometimes I'd miss a shot, and then he'd come over and be like, hey, that's okay. That was a good shot. I'll be, wait a minute. You're mad at me when I make one, and you're okay with me when I miss one. He said, yes, because it's all about shot selection. When you take good shots, right, they'll go in. When you take bad shots, they're not going to go in. So I feel like when you're handicapping, you got to always take good shots. Sometimes the ball doesn't go in. And I feel like in our handicapping, despite being cold, we've taken good shots. We've had good reasons. We've gone through the math. We've gone through our handicapping angles. And sometimes horses just beat you.
Yeah, that's true. And, I think yesterday with taking some of the races off the turf, that really hurt us a lot. That number 5 horse in that one race, Peaky something, he ran terrible. And I didn't expect that at all.
Well, as I mentioned, that horse had never run on dirt before, and that was a big fear of mine. But when you looked at the class of that horse, it was the class horse of the field. And that's a real tough decision between a horse making a first-time start on a new surface that has much superior class to everybody else. And you just feel like that class will carry over. And obviously it didn't, right?
No, yeah. You never know how they're going to run on a different track.
Nope, you don't. So that's why you have to have some tracks that are your go-to tracks, as Tom says. But I also feel like, you have to, it's a lesson in making sure you don't bet more than you can afford to lose, because in any sort of risk, whether it's the stock market, it's horse racing, it's the casino, whatever you're playing probabilities, at some point you're going to flip the coin and it's going to come up 6 times in a row on tails.
Yes.
And you can't make sure you go bankrupt on that 6th one. So you always have to understand money management and have a bankroll and a philosophy as to how you're going to bet your money.
Absolutely.
You do that, you can withstand cold streaks, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. So it's like a guy I used to know that played blackjack. Mm-hmm. He had this theory that if he bet like 500 the first hand and he lost it, then he would bet 1,000 the second hand. He lost it, and what he was saying was eventually he would win, but there was one problem with that. There's a maximum, and he hit the maximum the last time I talked to him, and of course he lost everything. So. Yeah,
that does not work. In fact, a friend of mine, you bring up blackjack. That's how I actually got into like horse racing and games of chance. A real good friend of mine, Mr. G, the straightest person. I mean, and never drank, never smoked, worked out till he was like in his 70s and stuff. I mean, he probably ate organic before there was a such thing as organic. But Mr. G was he played professional blackjack back in the day when they at Atlantic City, when they had one deck and you could count cards. And I would ask him, Mr. G, how do you make, I mean, what 17-year-old kid doesn't want to make a living playing blackjack, right?
Yeah.
And I would ask him, how do you make money playing blackjack? And he'd say to me, Rich, you have to have more money on your winning hands than you have on your losing hands. And I would say, Mr. G, you must be joking me. If you knew which hands were going to win and you knew which ones were going to lose, you obviously wouldn't play the hands that are going to lose, and you'd only play the hands that win. And then he went all through the money management and suggested I read his books. So I read all of his books on blackjack, and that's how I got into games of risk like horse racing and sports betting and so forth. But it is all math and how you manage your money. In any case, speaking about managing money, Terry, people want to spend a lot of money in Arlington, but it looks to me like this whole situation with Arlington is just a mess, because the one group that wants to buy Arlington International Race Horse and keep it there for horse racing purposes say the seller's casino interest could stymie its bid and open a door for others, including the Bears.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on here?
Well, I think Churchill Downs wants to keep the racetrack away, because I think they're pretty sure it's going to affect their casino that they have interest in. So I think it has a lot to do with that. And I think that there's going to be some lawsuits come out of this, because from what I understand, the one group has offered $120 million, which is supposedly the highest offer. And so if they don't take the highest offer and don't have a good reason for that, there's going to be some lawsuits over it.
Yeah, it says here that they think that Churchill Downs, there's a ownership in Rivers Casino in Des Plaines, which is right off the highway. It's really not that, I mean, it is if you look at it on a map, but it really isn't in terms of proximity close to Arlington. That's closer to there's an area in Chicago or outside of Chicago called Rosemont, where they have a lot of conventions at the Rosemont Convention Center. And it's a little bit east of O'Hare. So it's much closer to the airport than it is to downtown. But they do have a lot of conventions out there. It's really close to the airport, and that's where the casino is. And there's a lot of internal politics in Illinois. I mean, I don't want to get into all that, but Rosemont is kind of like viewed by the rest of the state politicians as kind of like the black sheep, I guess, because they kind of do their own thing there. And so they put this casino literally just to kind of stick it in the Rosemont people's faces, because they were bidding in it, like right on the border of Rosemont and Des Plaines. I mean, it's 100% politics. But in any case, I don't know that would actually impact that casino, because that casino is much closer to the city than Arlington is. So I think if you're going to go to a casino, the folks from Chicago would go to the one in Des Plaines, and maybe the folks who lived out in the suburbs like Schaumburg or out in that area would go to the one at the track. But I don't know that it would really hurt the Churchill Downs property in Des Plaines. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think you're right about that.
So maybe we can go to one of the Churchill casinos, Terry, or maybe you and Tom can get together and we can buy Swiss Skydiver. What do you think? Or maybe we should talk to Chris and we could change the name of the horse.
Yeah, we could do that. We could change it to Sean's Skydiver or something like that.
Yes, or Racing Radar Skydiver or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I know you and Tom talked about that. You had you guys could buy a $50,000 claimer each. So maybe the two of you can get together. That would be $100,000. Sean and I can each throw in a buck, and it would be $102. We can make our bid for Swiss Skydiver. What do you think?
I don't think it's even going to be close to what she's going to get. And, there's a lot of people are wondering, well, why would they want to sell their horse? They seem to love it. People forget that this isn't just for fun. A lot of times this is business. And people are looking you never know why they need to do that. But, maybe they've had some other bad luck that even though Swiss Skydiver's done well, their other part of their business hasn't, and they have to do something about it. So,
yeah, I wonder though, sometimes, like, in football, if you have a franchise quarterback, you don't trade the franchise quarterback, right?
Right.
So in horse racing, if you have a franchise horse, and Swiss Skydiver, to me, as far as horses are concerned, it is sort of a franchise horse in that it has name brand recognition, right? So people want to see it race. You could probably create some sort of marketing, like T-shirts and stuff like that, if you wanted to, and sell them, because Swiss Skydiver is a name. So I wonder if maybe they feel like the horse can no longer compete at the highest levels, and don't necessarily want to run it in like, $100,000 optional claiming races or $100,000 allowance races or low end non-graded stakes races, they'll let somebody else make that decision.
Yeah, that could be the point. It could be that way, sure. But I don't know. I still think there's some reasons that nobody's going to ever know why for sure.
Probably not. Well, maybe another way we can buy this horse today, Terry, is up in Canada again. So maybe we're pressing our luck here a little bit in Canada. But at Assiniboia Downs, I hope I pronounced that right. They have a $1 million. Today's the last day of racing up there in Canada. So they have a $1 million single ticket jackpot. So I guess if somebody gets it, they're going to get $1 million. The jackpot now stands at $236,978, $87. Little transposition error there on my part. And they'll be putting up $1 million guaranteed payout for a single winner of the jackpot pick five on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's pretty interesting. That's actually a 20-cent pick five. So, they do that a lot in Canada. So, people can try for that. But remember, you're only going to get the $1 million if only one ticket wins. Other than that, they're going to take the 200,000 plus and split it up among the rest of the tickets. So.
Well, I imagine that number is going to go up, Terry, because that's 236,000, and it's going to go higher.
Oh,
because of people coming in, yeah. But even still, I mean, that's still a decent sized pool, no matter what.
It is, yeah, and it's like being 20 cents. It's worth going and trying it because you can put a lot more coverage with 20 cents.
So I went ahead and did a couple of examples of ones that I'll probably play. So that Assiniboia Downs, it starts in race 3. I put a little bit of cheaper ticket on the left-hand side. You can see that I singled the 5 and the 1 in race 3 and 4, and then went 3 deep the rest of the way. And then on the other side, I added the 5 in race 3 and the 2 and 4 in race 4 and stayed 3 deep. So that's a 20-cent version. So the cheap one, Terry, is $5.40. I feel like the 5 horse is almost like that race is almost a give me because that horse looks class better than everybody else. And the next race, the 1 horse looks better than everybody else, but the 2 and the 4 aren't that far behind. And then, of course, you see how the rest of the ticket lays out all the way down. So if you're going to play that, those are the 20-cent versions. I'll be playing some combination of those tonight as I'm sitting around on my desk getting ready for tomorrow night's Player's Edge podcast, something to keep me busy.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you have many long shots in there? I haven't looked at the field, so.
I think there's a few long shots in there, but the thing about the fields, Terry, is that there's only like 6-7 horses in every race.
That's true.
So there might be some long shots in there, but when you look at the horses relative to the other horses in the field, some of the long shots I feel like are long shots for a reason. They don't really have a positional bias working in their favor or a running style bias working in their favor. So it's kind of hard to just go with a long shot for the sake of going with a long shot.
Yeah, that's true.
But there are, I think one of them in there is a 12-1. A couple of others are like 8-1. So there'll be some relative prices, but in a 6-horse, 7-horse field, 8-1 is sort of a long shot.
It is, yeah. Sometimes 4-1's a long shot.
Yeah, if you get a bunch of like 6-5s and all that kind of stuff, right?
6-5, 9-5, 2-1s, and yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll probably see some of that because there's a couple horses in those 5 races that look to be better than everybody else. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see some really short-priced horses. All right, today, Terry. So let's go ahead and do your best bet, Terry, and then we'll get moving on.
Good enough. Well, yesterday at Fort Erie, I had done the 6th race, I guess, and I had number 2 Jack Beanstalk. Well, Jack Beanstalk did not get in the money, but my number 9 horse, Be Very, Very Quiet, ran second, paid $360 to place and $320 to show. And number 8, Money Matters, he was 18-1 and really give me an exciting time because he was right up there at the front until, quarter ways down the stretch. But for today, I went to Arizona Downs, the track that we're going to talk about, and I went race 3. I like number 1, a card short, bobbled at the start and was off slow and still finished 3rd. The rail post is winning at 23% clip, and the trainer wins 40% of the time when dropping a horse down 2 classes. Then number 6, Parawan, reared at the break and lost the rider. So you got to throw that race out.
Absolutely.
She drops in class today, and the trainer wins 40% of the time whenever bringing back a beaten favorite to the races.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2, Blackberry Lisa, won her last race by 9 lengths and has the highest last race speed. She has the fastest dirt speed rating among today's starters.
So usually those big races, Terry, I have found through the years, that's one of my handicapping angles that I like, is when a horse wins a big race, they usually follow it up with another big effort. So that's a big angle. I find that to work out pretty well a lot of the times. All right, Terry. So today, let's see if we can get away from being doing foreigner covers of You're as Cold as Ice, and see if we can get, I don't know what's a band that's hotter than, I don't know who sung that song, but let's see if indeed we can become hot today, Terry. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
So we're going to definitely be in a warm area of the country with Arizona Downs. So race 6 is where we're going to start the pick 4. We picked Arizona Downs today because they have a couple of like $20,000 or $30,000 stake races, which are big stake races for them. And hopefully they can attract some better quality horses. I don't really do a lot of Arizona Downs, so I paid a little bit of attention to the track bias, and there seems to be some pretty heavy track biases in terms of post position and running style. So in race number 6, 5 furlongs, 100% of the races were won by horses labeled as speed. And then 65% of those horses, Terry, ran wire to wire. You better be fast, my friend, because if you get out of the gate slow, it's over.
That's right. That's right.
So how do you want to start this one?
I like number 6, 691. He finished 9 out of, and he has finished 9 out of 11 races in the money. He's won 7 of those races at Arizona Downs. And the trainer Alfredo Asperino wins 30% of the races that he brings a beaten favorite back to the race, and the horse's early running speed will help his chances.
Well, all right. But according to my early pace figures, Terry, he's not up there. So to me, the horse that's going to be up there, it's probably going to have some of the best early pace. And looking at this, the rail wins at a really high percent. I think the rail wins something like 26, 27% of the time. Yeah. And when you look at those rail, the post positions, those inside 3 horses, Terry, win a combined over 50% combined, over 50% of the races they win, and very few winners from outside the top 3. So to me, the fastest of the inside 3 horses is the 1 horse, and the rail wins at a high rate. Speed horses win at a high rate. The 1 horse ranks out as one of my fastest early pace horses. I got to throw that horse in there. And then there's the 4 horse, Terry, which is a huge favorite. I think 4 to 5 morning line. It's another one that should get out of the gate pretty fast. Do we want to beat him or do we want to put him in?
Well, I like the 4 and I like the 1. 4 is my second pick, and he's won 3 his last 3 races at Arizona Downs. He has a last race speed rating, the highest last speed rating. And the trainer wins 18% of the races when he brings a horse back who has won his last race. He has also the best dirt speed, the fastest among today's starters. And then I like the 1, as you were talking about. He'd been running in Southern California at Los Alamitas. Now he went to White Pines, I think that's what they call it, Ely, Nevada, and he ran a race there. And a lot of people say, "Oh well, those are a lot cheaper horses." That's true, but he should have won that race. He took a really bad step in the backside. So I like him because he has lots of early speed.
Yeah, I think he's going to get out and be hard to catch. So the question is, the 4 horse, Terry, is he is 4 to 5 morning line. So he's going to end up taking more money. My question to you is, do we want to try to beat him or do we want to include him?
Well, I hate leaving him out.
All right, because I just don't want to spend a whole lot of money in a race where I feel like if the 4 horse wins at 6 to 4 to 5, he's probably going to be 3 to 5 when he goes off. Then our payouts could be really severely damaged. But I don't think we go any deeper than this. So my suggestion is, usually I either single them or try to beat them is usually how I try to play a horse like that.
Okay.
So we'll put him in there in our fly for, but that to me, that's the maximum we can go unless you want to spend some more money here.
No. That's enough for me.
All right. So race number 7, Terry, is 5.5 furlongs. Again, speed kills 70% of the time. Speed horse wins with 50% of the horses going wire to wire. And again, the rail wins at a pretty high rate. And then 4 through 7. So 2 and 3 struggle a little bit relative to everybody else. So it looks to me like you want to be on the rail, or maybe you want to be a little bit to the outside. My first pick in this race is number 2. That's Rocky Stallone. This horse should be amongst the early pace type figures and does have some pretty good pace coming home. He does have a dropping in class. Trainer wins at about 28% of the time. So the horse I expect will be one of the strongest horses in the latter part, in the second part of the race, but still be close enough to the pace to make it happen.
Okay. I didn't pick that one, but I'll go along with that.
All right. Who did you pick?
I like number 7, Bullet Times. He ran second his last race and improved his speed rating by 5 points. He has a really high percent trainer and jockey, and he has the highest last speed rating. Mm-hmm. He drops in class today, and he ran second versus tougher horse races last race.
All right. And then again, I think you have to have the rail horse here, Terry, the number 1, because the rail wins at over 20%. And again, it's a horse that does have some inside speed, should be a horse that perhaps gets out of the gate a little bit early. I like the 1 horse as well, but also to me, this race is kind of crazy because I also feel like the 3 horse is going to be in there too, but I do like the rail horse. So let's go ahead and put the rail horse in there. Or are you against that?
Oh no, it's my second pick. I think it's a very good choice. The jockey's been really hot lately, won 4 out of 15 in a second. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know. And this horse has ran in the money 3 times in the last 3 races, and he won one of those. So no, the 1's a good choice for me.
All right. And then finally, one other horse, Terry, that I like is the 8 horse in here. That's Jazztown. Did you take a look at that one?
Yeah. I was looking at it. The only thing that bothered me is it hadn't won anything for quite a while.
Couple of years. Okay. Well, yeah. Any other horse that you want to consider? Or is this good enough?
For now, it's good enough. We can always come back. I liked, let's see, I liked the 5, but we can always come back.
Okay, we can come back. We'll look at this one if that's what we want to do. Okay. Next spot, race number 8. This one's a mile and a 16th on the main track. And again, speed does win. It wins at 67% of the time. And if you look at the way the posts work out, the rail wins again at the highest rate, which is not shocking based upon what I've seen so far. But as they move away from the rail, the winning rates go down. So kind of inside out has the advantage. That being the case, Terry, is there any particular horse in here that you like, that you think is fast, is well positioned, and has a chance to win?
I like the 4 Race Home, and he's won 4 out of the last 5 races and now returns to the distance that suits him better. He can either run on top or he can come from behind, which is something I really like. And the trainer, Manuel Ortiz Sr., wins 23% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the races.
All right. For me, Terry, I'm looking at a horse here at number 8, Olympic Express. Hasn't run since July, but has put in a bunch of workouts since, has a win, a second, and a third in 4 races at Arizona Downs. But again, it's one of those horses that should be a part of the early pace. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the pace setter, but he also has some of the best late pace figures in the field. So that tells me that the 8 horse Olympic Express can get out to the front, can stay out to the front, and has strong enough late legs to hold off anybody who's trying to catch him late.
Yeah, he had a really good race last race. He won it by a couple of lengths pretty easily. So yeah, I'm on board with that one.
All right. Any other one that you want to throw in here?
I like number 6, Loose Diamond. He's won his last 3 races at Arizona Downs, and he has the highest last race speed rating and a good trainer jockey combination. And the trainer wins 28% of the races when bringing a horse back who won his last race.
Okay. Any other horse in here that fits for you, Terry? Because for me, Maybe I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with Macedonian Ruler because the horse is coming in from Golden Gate Fields. I thought that was going to be your first pick.
Yeah. I let's see. Let me look at that one. I'll tell you.
That's number 7.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Massive. Yeah. The only problem is that I think this horse is. I think he's really kind of fell down on his. Something happened. They wouldn't have kept him out since May 28th.
Well, he's been working out pretty steadily since then.
He has.
And then you look back at the August 15th workout at Arizona Downs. It was the second fastest of 22 at 47 handily at 4 furlongs. So it looks to me like, and then again on August the 6th, second fastest at 4 furlongs out of 15. So it looks to me like he might like the track, Terry.
Oh, we can throw him in. That's fine with me.
Yeah, you want to throw him in, or is there some other there that you like there? Because I also think the 2 horse, which is a little bit more of a long shot, and as I mentioned, speed in speed works, and also at the same time, the inside posts tend to perform a little bit better than the outside posts. So I think the 2 horse is going to be a part of the early pace as well. He's 15-1, but he also has the 4th best late pace figure, so he should be near the front in the beginning, like the 8 horse, and has the legs not to give it up. So I think I like the 2 or the 7. Personally, I always like the longer odds. We need some shots in there. And at Arizona Downs has 2 seconds and 2 thirds in 5 races.
Okay, put the 2 in there, and maybe we'll come back to the 7.
All right. So you want to put the 2 in?
Yeah, let's put the 2.
Yeah, what the hell? We'll put all the even numbers in there. 2, 4, 6, 8. No more horses. Is there a 10?
I don't think so.
All right. Race number 9, Terry. 4.5 furlongs. It's a sprint, as you can imagine. You got to be fast again. 58% of the horses. So there's only been 12 races there. So 7 of the 12 went wire to wire. 8 of the 12 were speed horses. The rail has won 33% of these races, Terry. But I have a hard time putting that 1 horse in there.
Yeah, I don't care that much for the 1 horse. So I actually like the 5 better.
You like the 5 horse better?
Sassaying Sis.
That was well, we'll talk about that horse in a second, but yeah, that was one that you liked a lot. So sashaying Sis, you like tongue tying Sis?
Yeah. Well, it has my last name in the middle of there.
Hang.
Hey.
All right. So you want to go with that because it's your name. All right.
No, I like it because it's 3 for 3 at today's distance.
All right.
It has won 5 out of 8 races this year. Has a good trainer jockey combination. I think this is a pretty wide open race, to tell you the truth.
I do too. So for me, again, it's tough to me. The fastest horse out of the box is the 6 horse, according to my analysis. That's Devon's Choice.
Yeah.
But I don't have him really that high in my rankings, Terry, at all. So my next best horse is, so I guess I'm going to try to beat that horse. My next highest horse, I'm going to go with the 2 horse again. Last time he won at Arizona Downs, broke his maiden. Not a big fan of horses coming out of its maiden, but it won by 5. It has it does have that. I mean, if it can just repeat that same race it just ran, it wins this race.
Yeah, and it just came from Northern California. It ran at Pleasanton last time out. Mm-hmm. It was eased there and walked off. So, when it came out here on and ran September 7th, it won with no problem at all by 5 3/4 lengths. I actually have that horse as one of my picks. So, and
they turned it. Then the trainer is turning it around right away too. So, I mean, it ran on the 7th. It's running again in a week. So,
yep,
that tells me the trainer thinks the horse is still sharp and ready to go.
And I think it is. It was my 3rd pick.
All right. What else do you like?
Okay, I like number 9, Delightful Hips. She has won 2 out of the 3 last races. She's ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, and her early speed style will help her chances. And the shorter distance will really help her, I think.
Okay. And then finally, one other horse for me, Terry, another long shot.
Okay.
So if we win this one, we get one of these to come home, we'll be all right. So we have Come On Cat, the 3 horse at 20-1 morning line. Ugh, gotta love that, right? Last time out at Lone Star, finished 10th out of 10 by 12. Really not a whole lot of excuses. That was back in December and has not run since then. So they brought the horse over here. But if you go all the way back before going to Los Al to run, in those quarter horse races, or them short ones there, the 4 furlongers that they have. At Del Mar and Los Al and Santa Anita, the horse showed a ton of speed. And if it can find its back class, I mean, if the 3-horse finds that back class that it had at Southern California, it's going to kill this field.
Yeah.
And when you look at its workouts at Arizona Downs, since July 28th, the horse has put in 10 furlongs of works. Actually, more than 10 furlongs of work. It's put in 12 furlongs of work. It's gone from 3 furlongs to 4 furlongs to 5 furlongs. 2 of those 3 are bullets. The last time out was a 5 furlong, fastest of 5 at 1 minute and 1 second. I feel like if the 3 can get to the lead, the 3 might be uncatchable.
Yeah, I agree with you because it had 2 good workouts in Los Alamitos prior to that. One of them at 48.2 was fourth best out of 17. Yeah, I like the horse a lot.
Yeah, and even that 35-4 is a pretty fast 3 furlong workout for a horse.
It is. Absolutely.
So, well, that I think wraps us up, Terry, a little bit right there, because we got 16 times 3, 48 times 3 is 144, right? So that's a $72 ticket right there. And I'm kind of concerned of going too much heavier than that. If that 4-horse were to win that first race, it might be tough to get our money back.
Could be. Let's see.
It sounds like you have something else in mind.
Well, there was a horse I was saying let's put to the side. Now I'm trying to remember which one I was talking about.
I think we were talking about in race number 7, the 6-horse maybe.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. What if let's put the 6 with, what is that going to do?
Was that race number 7, the 6-horse for sure?
Yes,
I want to make sure that's right, Terry. I don't want to go put in a horse in there that you didn't have in mind.
Let me see. 2, 4.
So in race number 7, I had the 2, 7, 1, and maybe the 8, but I don't know about you. The 6-horse does look like it has some early pace. Which one is it?
Number is in the 8th race. Number 5.
In the 8th race, number 5?
Yeah.
So that would give us, what would that put us? That would put us 420 times 3 is 60, 180. That would be 90.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put the 5 in there then. So we got the whole field there then. All right. That's a $90 ticket, folks. Again, if that 4-horse wins the first leg, it might be difficult to get that back. So in race 6, we got the 146, race 7, the 127, race 8, the 2, the 4, the 5, the 6, and the 8. In race number 9, the 2, 3, 5, and 9. Although I do feel like we have enough long shots in there, Terry, that if some of them come through, we'll have a chance to make a pretty good ticket down in Arizona Downs and get away from Foreigner and back to something else that's hotter than hell.
Yeah, and even if the hard favorite wins that 6th race, I've had a lot of pick 4s where I've had a hard favorite win and then some pretty decent prices in the next 2 or 3 legs that paid really good. So works out for me.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. The other thing I like too, though, is if you've got that 4 and it's hard favorite and the 1 or the 6 beats it, you can really
the one's going to beat it, Terry.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the one's going to get off to a good start and be tough to catch. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So we just locked in the 4 at 2 to 5 as a favorite, winning that race in a cakewalk. All right, let's take a look at how we did it ourselves in our hot dog pick 4s, Terry.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the 3P parlay, and you'll see why I did it the way I did it a little bit later on. So Terry and I both agree to go too deep in the first 2 races. Terry goes with the 4 and the 6. I went with the 1 and the 4 because I do feel like the 1 horse is going to get the jump on everybody, and that rail seems to have a huge advantage. In race number 7, Terry went with the 1 and 7. I went with 2 and 7. We both agree the 7 is probably the horse to beat there. Race number 8, Terry went 4, 5, 6. I went 4, 6, and 8. And then race number 9, Terry goes 5, 6, 9. Rich goes 2, 3, 9. So there is a path for us to win the hot dogs and the fly 4. And then finally, Terry, Sasquatch makes its return. We have the 3P parlay. Terry stuck at Arizona Downs. That's why I saved this one for last today, because as you can see, Terry's going to do what I did the other day, and he's going to go with the straight 3P / pick 4 double. All of his Arizona Downs horses that he likes the most, he has on top of his 3P parlays.
Absolutely. And
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll remember my point.
Okay. I was going to say that in the 7th race, people might be surprised that I took the 1 over my top pick, which was the 7. But I picked the 1 because I think it's going to pay a little better, and I think it has a good shot to be in either second or first.
So the one thing I would say about what Terry's brought up here is when you're doing pick 3s, pick 4s, doubles, these what they call vertical bets, it's always a good idea, and we've talked about this before, to take your top picks, whatever they may be. And so if you're doing a pick 3, for example, in Arizona, race 7, 8, and 9, and the 1, the 4, and the 5 are your top picks, to make a $1 pick 3 play 1, 4, 5. That way, if your favorites win, or your favorite horse wins every race, and you hit the pick 4, you get paid. Well, the pick 3, you'll get paid twice by adding just $1 more.
Yep.
So it's a very sound betting practice that I suggest everybody use when you're betting pick 3s and pick 4s, just to take that extra, whatever, if you're doing a 50-cent pick 3 or $1 or $2, whatever your unit it is, always take your top picks and make a single ticket with each one of them soloed on it, just in case. And then for me, what I did today, Terry, is, as you know, at Horse Racing Radar, we also have some picks available in our pick section. You can go on over there. And I took today's Delaware Park best bets. And you'll see in race 4, I like the 2. In race 5, I like the 7. Race 6, you like the 1. We have 3 best bets at every track. If you go over to the pick section of Horse Racing Radar, you'll see it up in the menu. You can get any track, I think, for like $5 and like $14 for the day. That's one of the ways we keep the lights on and allows Terry and I to be here every single day. Right, Terry? And you've used them before and had some luck, right?
Oh, absolutely. I love them. I've used them for years, and I have a lifetime membership, actually. I paid for that because I had tried a lot of different ones in the past, never found any that was as good as this one. And what I like to do is I like to do my handicapping before I look at that. And then once I'm done with mine and got what I think's right, I go take a look at that, and it either confirms what I'm thinking or it shows me horses that I really didn't consider, sort of what you do sometimes from a different angle, makes me go back and look again and say, oh, now I can see why they like that horse. And I've gotten some pretty good prices by doing that.
Fantastic. And Terry, if folks want to follow us, what do they do?
Okay, don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube and
And
follow
a thumbs
us.
up if you like
And
what
a
you
thumbs
saw.
up, yes. And then on Twitter, you can retweet. And then on Facebook, please give us a like. And don't forget that we're not telling you have to do that, but we'd sure like you to do that if you like what you've seen.
Absolutely. So you can follow us on Racing Radar on Facebook, Racing Radar on Twitter. Make sure you tell your friends about us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you make a TikTok dance video, put it up there. We'll put it on the show, right?
Yeah.
And let everybody see that you're promoting Horse Racing Radar. We greatly would appreciate that. And if you want us to go ahead and include your pick 4, you can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook with your pick 4 suggestions for our track of the day. Tomorrow we'll be doing Woodbine. We'll be back in Canada. And then on Friday, Terry will be gone. Tom and I will be discussing some international racing. And the other Tom, I Love Carly, and I will earlier in the day on Friday, we'll go over some of the races at Belmont for the Win and You're In. And then the 2 races at Kentucky at Churchill Downs. Can you believe it, Terry? The 2022 road to the Kentucky Derby starts on Saturday.
Wow. Yeah, the years just pass by so quickly now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable. The older you get, the faster they go. Please.
It's true.
Father time is merciless, Terry, for sure. All right, Terry, that wraps up today's show. As always, we certainly hope that all of your tickets are winners and that we will see you in J. Marco's Winner's Circle. Have a fantastic Wednesday, everybody.
Goodbye.